What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today, I've dropped a big update for EB-03. I'm a bit croaky today. I thought I was done recording for the day, but what am I going to do? Not bring you a video about all of the new cards that have been revealed? 6 new cards from EB-03, all of which look very good, 4 of which are super rares. And the non-super rares look really nice. A Charlotte Linlin, which is the first ever Rocks Pirates card we've had. Yeah. This feels like the kind of time to turn around and go, well, I'm a little croaky and I'm not feeling very well. I thought I was done making videos for the day, or at least recording. But come on, this feels like an exception. So let's start off with the Charlotte Linlin, because I don't know where else we're going to start. This is Charlotte Linlin. By the way, it is worth noting we have had some former Rocks Pirates, like the Charlotte Linlin from OP08, the Kaido from OP08, the Buckin from OP08, and the Captain John from OP07. But no actual Rocks Pirates, and it looks like that is what we've got here. Actual proper job, full-on Rocks Pirates. And here we've got 7 cost, 7,000 power, counter plus 1,000, and on play, draw a card. Put a card from your hand on top of your deck, so you're stacking your deck. That's a good thing. And then add up to 1 Don from your Don deck. Active. By the way, look in the top right-hand corner of the artwork here. Really, really appreciate this artwork. So you're drawing a card. You're putting a card on top of your deck to make sure that you've got the right card on top of your deck. And then you add a Don card from your Don deck. Active. We've then got on KO, Don -1, add up to 1 card from the top of your deck to your life. Yeah, you're drawing, you're stacking the top card of your deck, and you're getting life back when KO'd. This is good. KO doesn't matter whether it happens on your turn or your opponent's. Worth noting, this is only Rocks Pirates. This is old school Big Mum here. This is not a Big Mum Pirates card. Please bear that in mind. This is going to help out a bunch of purple decks, but does anyone think there might be a Rocks Pirates leader coming in the not too distant future? Not in EB-03. We know there's only one leader in EB-03. Well, at least that's what we've been told by distributors. We know that there is one leader we've been shown from EB-03, and that's Nefeltari Vivi. So don't expect a Rocks Pirates leader in EB-03. But in the not too distant future, yes. I mean, if you're reading the manga right now, if you're up to date with the manga, you will be awaiting a Rocks Pirates leader. We know it's coming. They're really hitting it in the manga right now, the whole Rocks Pirate era, so come on, it's happening. But hey, speaking of Nefeltari Vivi, we got a new one of those as well. 5 cost, 4,000 power, counter plus 1,000, and this is a blue super rare. Which, of course, makes perfect sense, because, yeah, the new Vivi we're getting is a dual colour leader, but by the same token, it's also part blue. So, yay! And what we got for Nefeltari Vivi here is a blocker, and on play, you can play up to 1 5 cost or lower Alabaster or Straw Hat Crew from your hand, but then you cannot play characters onto your field for the rest of the turn. I'm seeing some mistranslations of this going around. I'm seeing people saying it stops you playing characters from your hand. That is not true. It literally says, afterwards, this turn, you cannot play characters to your field. So it doesn't stop you playing characters from your hand. It stops you playing characters in any way, shape, or form. So if there was a way to play a character from the trash or from your life or from somewhere else, it still wouldn't work. But it's a blocker that lets you play a 5 cost or lower character from your hand for free. Yeah. Obviously, this works beautifully in a Nefeltari Vivi deck. Obviously, this is a time where I turn around and remind you about the blue Vivi that's got that really nice draw power when you play it. As an example, there's a lot of good Straw Hat and Alabaster characters that you could turn around and use here. Point is, all of them are on the table. You're getting an extra character onto the board. This is a good thing. And you're also getting a blocker onto the board, and you're really not paying that much for it. Okay, 4k for a 5 cost is a bit low, but it's a blocker that lets you play an extra character. Make no mistake about it, this is a very good character. And if you're playing a Nefeltari Vivi deck, yes, I do expect you to be playing this card. Seems a little bit busted. Now, the other non-super rare that we've got is a new carrot. 6 cost, 7,000 power, counter plus 1,000 minks. And activate main once per turn. If you played the character this turn, KO one of your opponent's 5 cost or lower characters that is rested, and then play up to 1 Zo from your hand. Fun fact, Zo is literally Japanese for elephant, and it is, of course, the stage. That, incidentally, is why this has to be for minks, because Zo is specifically a minx stage. Activate main, rest this stage. If your leader is minx, set it on to active, and end of your turn, set a minx character to active. So this lets you get Zo very consistently, which obviously means that you're going to be playing a minx deck. Obviously, it means carrot. But I'm just going to put this out there. We all know the super rare carrot from OP08 is a busted card. Sees a huge amount of play in green decks. I think carrot is better than people have been given that leader credit for. Anything that can help push that leader up a tier, A-OK for me. By the way, it's weirdly worded. It basically gets around stuff like Blackbeard. So if you're up against Blackbeard and they're turning off on-play effects, this is, to all intents and purposes, an on-play effect, but it is technically not an on-play effect. It is an activate main once per turn if you played the character this turn. Well, Blackbeard uses this enough to get cards of an on-play effect. Why not use it against Blackbeard? But you're carrying a rested 5 cost or less, and then playing a stage from your hand, which is a phenomenal stage in these decks. Make no mistake, ladies and gentlemen, this is a good card. I'm slightly worried that you're waiting to have 6 Don out until you play Zo with this, which is a little bit annoying, but it will save you 3 Don from not having to play it using your Don. It just means you have to wait until you got 3 extra Don to play it, so depends whether you went first or second. If you went second, you got 4 Don, you choose not to play it. Next turn, you got 6, play it with carrot. But if you went first, you got 3 Don, you choose not to play it. Next turn, you got 5 Don, you can't play carrot unless you've ramped. And that does get a little more awkward. But it's a nice new trick for carrot decks. That makes me happy. But we do have a couple of other super rares we do need to be showing you here. 3 more, in fact. So let's start off with Uta. 5 cost, 7,000 power, no counter. But on play, if your leader is Uta, draw 2. And then you can play a character from your hand with 6,000 power or less. And the way it's literally worded is, no original abilities. What that means is, if you've got another card in play which grants them an ability, that's fine. But it means no abilities written on the card. Okay. Again, that seems really, really good. And look, this one's weird, because my first thought here is a leader we've not seen for a very long time. But do you all remember the promo Uta leader? Promo number 11. There was a red promo pack, came out in Japan where I had this in. Because firstly, it's red Uta, and secondly, activate main once per turn, pay 1. And give one of your characters with no base effect, that's the phrasing we need on the card here, 2,000 power during this turn. So you want to be playing a bunch of characters with no base effect with Uta, and now all of a sudden we've got an Uta that can play a character with no base effect for free, which is what you're going to be kind of filling your deck with anyway. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that sounds pretty gosh darn good. Of course, there is a better Uta that has seen more play in the One Piece TCG that is part red, and that is, of course, the Uta from OP06, which doesn't necessarily combo perfectly with this, but it is a red Uta deck. This is still an on-play draw too. Make no mistake about it, Uta can help out really nicely here. It's not quite the same, if I'm honest. The real combo here is with the promo Uta. There is a question at this stage whether we've had that Uta for a while now, and we actually kind of know for a fact it isn't good. Now, at this stage, you might be realizing that it seems genuinely like every character in the entire set is a female character. So let's carry on and have a look at Koala, one of the coolest female characters in One Piece. 4 cost 5k, counter plus 1000, and if your leader is Revolutionary Army, you get plus 4 cost. That's actually really quite important, because remember the Koala leader from OP12, the whole point is that that's got that skill that activates when you've got 2 or more characters in play that are 8 cost or higher. So this turns it from a 4 cost into an 8 cost. An 8 cost is what you need to activate the extra skill on Koala here, your leader. If you've got 2 or more 8 cost characters and this leader attacks your opponent's leader, you get to draw a card. So this is actually pretty big for playing with the Koala leader. Then during your opponent's turn, when this is KO'd, it has to be KO'd on your opponent's turn, not yours. Play a Revolutionary Army or Nico Robin character with a cost of 6 or less, other than Koala, from your trash or from your hand. Yeah, I love that you can play from the trash as well as hand here. Makes it way more likely this is actually going to work. And let's not forget, we do have a couple 6-cost Nico Robin cards. We've got the super rare from OP12, that if your leader is Koala, it gets plus 3 cost. Goes up to a 9, very important, also a blocker. But on play, if your opponent's got 5 or more cards in their hand, you can trash 1 and they trash 2, which is fun. We also have the less well-remembered one from Starter Deck 14, that on play and when attacking, if you've got a character with a cost of 8 or more, you get to minus 5 cost to one of your opponent's characters during the turn. There are obviously a bunch of Revolutionary Army characters that you can play here, but the fact that it lets you specifically play Nico Robin I find quite interesting. I mean, it fits perfectly. Remember, the alternate art Koala in OP12 has Nico Robin on the artwork as a mentor, whole theme of the set. So this is lovely, and we have a couple of appropriate Nico Robin, or if you want, you could go for some Revolutionary Army. Either way, not the only card we're looking at in this video which can play characters for free, but a very, very nice one indeed. So it seems like if we had a yellow 6 cost or lower Nico Robin, that would work kind of perfectly with what we're trying to do here. Well, we do have a new yellow Nico Robin, but it's a 7 cost, which means it cannot be played for free with Koala. It is frankly annoying that they revealed a new Koala that can play 6 cost or lower Nico Robin and fits perfectly into the black-yellow Koala deck, and they revealed a new yellow Nico Robin and made it just too expensive to be played with Koala. I have noticed, I don't appreciate it. But as a fun little side note, this Nico Robin is drawn by Basai, who did actually do the artwork for the Nico Robin in Starter Deck 14. Look at that. We've all gone full circle. This Nico Robin, what have we got? 7 cost, 8k, no counter. On play, trash a card from the top of your life. If your leader is Straw Hat Crew, put 2 cards from the top of your deck onto your life. So you trash 1 and then add 2. Why not just add 1? You might know what the top card of your deck is. There's a bunch of cards around that let you see, and this just lets you get 2 extra cards on top. If there's a trigger you're particularly looking for, this gives you a better chance of having a trigger you want on top of your deck. It could just be add 1, but it's not. There is a more cynical way of looking at it, which is probably what the card designers were actually thinking. Doesn't let you go from 0 to 1. If it was just add a life, you could go from 0 to 1. Here, you have to trash a card from the top of your life, and then if you do, you get to add 2, because you've got to do the stuff in bold before the colon to activate the rest. So, if you don't have any life, you can't activate this. That's really what they're going for here, but it does also let you cycle your triggers a bit better, which I very much appreciate. Oh yeah, and then if it's KO during your opponent's turn, you get to deal a damage to your opponent. Yeah. So if they KO it, they take a damage, and when you play it, you gain a life. That's a very hefty swing. Now, the fact that the first skill only works for Straw Hat does kind of lock this to yellow Straw Hat, and we don't have much yellow Straw Hat. We have exactly 3. We got the Luffy from Starter Deck 13, which was for a long time the best leader in the format. We've got the Nami from OP11, which does see a bit of play here and there. It is out there. And then the Nico Robin from OP09, which at this stage really is a bit of a fringe deck, but is the only purple Straw Hat deck that can play this new Nico Robin. And we know for a fact that Purple Straw Hat is incredibly strong. There's a bunch of really strong Purple Straw Hat cards, which is why, for instance, like the OP11 Luffy has ended up being such a good card. And the EB-02 Luffy has ended up being such a good card because they're part purple and Purple Straw Hat is kind of busted. This is the only deck, the only leader, which can play both the really good Purple Straw Hat and play this new Nico Robin. So I know that of the three leaders I've just named, your Luffy, your Nami and your Robin, I know that Nico Robin has been the weakest of them up till now, but it's always been a leader with a little bit of potential, and it's now got a unique card combination which looks to be a very strong card combination. And I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, this is something I've absolutely got my eye on. So there we go. I'm a bit croaky, but 6 new cards, all of which have huge potential. What was I going to do? Wait till tomorrow? Nah, mate, not my style. Now I've told you all about them, and now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about these in the comment section. Make sure you go nuts, but remember to be nice, would ya? And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wasi. That's where we talk about One Piece and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays.